So we've touched on how new technology is helping young entrepreneurs get started with less capital, sort of confronting this issue of crisis, let's say. But not only that, startup businesses have traditionally thrived in a recession. There's a few examples of big companies who've really gotten started in a difficult situation. So is now a good time, can we ask?
Sarah?
Yes.
So, I mean, on the good time and also on the way the innovation style are impacting this globalization, it usually comes to mind everything going on around the internet, but it's interesting to know that there is a current wave around hardware, which is really fascinating, which is planned to be as big as the internet has been for the last 20 years. And the idea is all these new solutions where you can do 3D printing, you can do robotic system with open source hardware solution. For instance, something called Arduino, which is a platform which is fully open source, and therefore, and just to give you a scenario to understand what that means for globalization and fluidity in the marketplace, nowadays kids in the suburbs anywhere in Croatia can start playing with a little piece of hardware and all the software stack to drive that hardware, which is a little controller, and have all the little robotics elements, and can print in 3D the envelope of that object, which could do things, move around, have a camera, being an alarm system, be a toy, be anything you can imagine. All of that being open source, all of that you can produce and test in your flat in any suburb around the world. And once you've done that and that thing works, and there are no problem of license, because again, this is hardware open source, you can literally ship that design to a fab in Taiwan, and the fab in Taiwan would produce it, because again, this is a platform which is open source, so those guys in Taiwan are, the ecosystem exists now to do that, and the fab in Taiwan would produce the object, shrink wrap, and ship it to Amazon in the US, so your product can be on sale. So you could have a teenage boy producing objects in Croatia, getting it produced in Taiwan, and being sourced from Amazon US in ways which are as simple as writing Linux code, because it's literally, there is very little investment or processing systems to put in place. Everything is there nowadays. It just happened that, and that's why I wanted to give the example, that in the hardware, people still don't know that this is becoming possible. 20 years ago, it was not possible. If you wanted to do robotics, you had to buy very expensive equipment, and everything was under license, private license, so producing the object was blocked. No way you could do it. So this is going to be another wave, which will obviously be very global.
Say that indeed there are waves, there are entrepreneurial waves that are enabled by technological innovation, globalization, deregulation, and so on and so forth. But I think that we should not, perhaps, we should not believe that there are times, certain times that are ripe for entrepreneurship, and other or normal times where there's nothing much to do, right? So I think I would say that entrepreneurial opportunities have always existed, will always exist. Maybe they're more enabled at some particular eras or periods of time than others, but the message is there's always going to be something there to be done.
I wanted to ask a question specifically to Sven. So in terms of technological innovation, you are a very experienced entrepreneur who's launched several businesses, and a lot of these have been focused on and mobile business. Do you feel like
Yeah, I mean, what's very interesting with this new world is the fact that you can launch a business with a couple of 100,000 euros. And I mean, before that, launching an e-commerce company or a mobile application company will take you a million. So the cost of development has drastically reduced. So I think this is accelerating the level of innovation and duplication of business models also, because you see a lot of clonification of business models happening in the marketplace from local entrepreneurs.